Back in 2007, it started to become pretty obvious to me that we were facing an extraordinarily difficult time in our economy, and something was coming. And a lot of it came from a book that I was reading called The Forgotten Man. And I turned to the writer of The Forgotten Man, an expert in the Great Depression. Here's how I introduced her last year. The author of The Forgotten Man, and a book every American should absolutely read. Don't take it from just me. Rudy Giuliani said that on my program about your book. I don't know if you know that, Amity. You don't believe a depression is coming. You believe we're headed towards 1970s stagflation, right?
That is correct.
Amity, it's a year later almost. It's an opportunity for you to change your answer.
Now you're right, Glenn.
Yeah, it's spooky. You know what? And, Amity, what's amazing is that maybe it was close. You were just close to the trees, and you didn't see the forest. Because I got it from your book. I saw the same damn mistakes that you said we made in the Great Depression. I'm like, this is what we're doing. This is what's coming.
Well, one thing the two periods have in common is this sense of crisis leading to the assumption that government needs more power. Crisis, power to government. Government can have unlimited power. That was a problem in the 30s, and you can see it's a problem now.
Right. The 1930s, the problem with it was, and correct me if I'm wrong, but 1929 was not the problem. The crash was not the problem. It was everything that was done by the government that made the Great Depression, right?
That is correct. The Depression was great not because of the crash. It was great because of the duration. If the crash had happened and then we'd all gone on our way, it would be some monetary anomaly that no one remembered. But the many policies promulgated by Hoover and then by Roosevelt were quite problematic, and we see some repeats today.
Right, and we're seeing tighter regulation. We're gonna have higher taxes. We see even in the bill that passed last week, where they let the oil ban expire. There's no business there's not a single oil company running out to find that oil because they don't trust the government to not change the rules. And that was really one of the major problems in the Great Depression.
Yes, so there was also an anti-business atmosphere. They strung up their Greenspan. That was Andrew Mellon. They strung up their Sergey Brin, their Steve Jobs. That was a man named Sam Insull who electrified Chicago. They took their business heroes and crucified them.
Right.
So politically and then in courts. So you get a consequence from that. Of course, business is to blame for a lot of this, but you don't want to say we hate you.
Right. Which is weird, because that's exactly what we're doing right now. When I read just the name of The Forgotten Man, I had always heard the Forgotten Man, but didn't really know what it was. And your book really kind of opened it up, because, boy, America, if this doesn't explain how you feel, nothing will. What is the definition of the Forgotten Man, Amity?
The forgotten man who matters is the taxpayer, the one who will help pay for the $700 billion, who will pay. And the phrase comes from old philosophy, William Graham Sumner, who said, what about the third man who's subsidizing the project that the first man wants to do, who's subsidizing it willy-nilly, just watching his money get spent?
Right.
So the taxpayer is the modern forgotten man, and even then too.